Good evening, Amokyo GRC. Salam sejahtera. Vanakkam. 红庙桥选民，晚上好。Now this is a very important election. This election will determine the future of Singapore, but more importantly, the future of us, citizens of Singapore. Will we still have a place in our society? Will we still be able to live with dignity and be respected in Singapore? Now, Singaporeans, we are a contented people. We want to be able to get on with our lives, be successful, and go back home to rest. But sometimes, for some of us, it is not easy. Many of us, even degree holders, have lost their jobs. I know of even people from the Raffles schools who have lost their jobs for many years. Now they lose their pride, they lose their dignity. Some of them become taxi drivers. Now it is a respectable job. But where we have studied so hard in our areas of specialty, but when we cannot get a job in that area because of competition from cheaper labor, then we start to ask, were we told a lie? Study hard, get a good job, buy a home, have a family, retire, get back your CPF, happily ever after. But is this still the Singapore story? Now, even for taxi drivers, it is not easy. I met a taxi uncle in Hougang. He is 16. He said that older taxi drivers used to own their own taxis. But then the government came in, took away their ownership, and made them pay their own rents to the taxis. This allowed the government to get richer, but our taxi drivers got poorer. So they have to work long hours just to earn a few $1,000s every month. I met another lady in a one-room flat in Teck Ghee, in the heart of Ang Mo Kio. This is Lee Hsien Long's ward. The lady lived with her parents and two of her young children. They all squeezed in one room. She earns only $1,200 every month. Her parents can no longer work because of their illnesses, and her children have to go to childcare. Just like many of our low-income families, it is very tough for her. She cannot earn enough, and she's in heavy debt. She has to actually pay off her loan for her rental flat, which she is renting. So you can see how tough it is for her. The PAP says that you can buy a HDB flat if you earn $1,000. If you speak to the people who earn $1,000 at the one-room flats, two-room flats, many of them cannot even earn enough to make ends meet. Many of them are in heavy debt. There's no way a person earning $1,000 can buy a HDB flat. They are even earning below what is needed to have a basic, decent life in Singapore. An NUS professor calculated that 30% of Singaporeans live in poverty, and they have to spend more than what they can earn. One of our volunteers asked me, how come there are still so many people, so many poor people living in the Prime Minister's constituency, and they are still so poor? The lady in the one-room flat asked me to help her. I said I would. And that is why I decided to run for the election. Now, the best way I can help her and the best way we can help her is to run for the election and to make the government change so that we can create policies to help her and help Singaporeans. Now, Singaporeans, we need a government with the heart to serve the people. We need a government that cares for the people. We need a government with the political will to create policies and to make policies to serve Singaporeans and to protect Singaporeans. Now, we need a government that does not look at our citizens as money, but treat each and every one of our citizens with love, with care, with responsibility. Now, I can help the low-income families if I am able to go into Parliament to push for minimum wage so that the wages of all low and middle-income Singaporeans can go up and so that our families can be protected. Now, I can help our low-income and our unemployed Singaporeans if I am able to go into Parliament to fight for stronger employment protection policies so that our Singaporeans will still have good jobs and will be hired fairly. Now, I can help Singaporeans who are out of job for a long time if I am able to go into Parliament to advocate for unemployment benefits so that they will have a peace of mind when they need to look for a job. Now, our government cannot be selfish. If we do not want to protect the jobs of Singaporeans, then we need to give unemployment benefits. But if we do not want to give unemployment benefits, then we have to protect the jobs of Singaporeans. Now, the PAP cannot have its cake and eat it. Otherwise, Singaporeans, we will take the PAP's cake away, we will take the cake and divide it equally among ourselves so that we will not go hungry. Now, I used to live in rented flats. In fact, I used to live in Ang Mo Kio. I used to live in a one-room rented flat on Ang Mo Kio Avenue 3, Block 123. And we later moved to a two-room rented flat in Ang Mo Kio Avenue 6, Block 645. I also studied in Ang Mo Kio Primary School, Hong Tao Primary School, and Mayflower Secondary School. And then I went to Serangoon Junior College, which is just at the edge of Ang Mo Kio GRC. So you can say I know all corners of Ang Mo Kio very well. It is my home. It feels good to be home. Now, I know what it feels like to be poor. I didn't dare to go to McDonald's. I don't even remember watching a movie when I was young, except Xiao Ding Dang. Now, when we were living in our two-room flats, my parents wanted the only bedroom to be our study room, so that we have a proper place to study. So every night, we lay 5 mattresses in the living room and slept together in the living room. It was very squeezy, but it was cozy. Thankfully, homes were big in the past, so that we could do that. But over the last 20 years, the PAP has built smaller and smaller homes. Now, I went to a friend's 3-room flat in Choa Chu Kang. His bedroom has only enough space to put a single bed and a table. There was no room for his wardrobe, so the family puts their clothes in the storeroom. To me, I ask, what is the responsibility of the government? We need to give Singaporeans a place to call home. Now, we need to build homes which will allow Singaporeans to go back to and have enough space for them to rest, for us to rest. Now, we cannot aim for a 6.9 million or a 10 million population in Singapore, then start to build such small homes because the PAP wants to build as many homes as possible for profit. This is wrong. Now, I went to another friend's place, a bungalow in Sembawang. It is a new bungalow. His bedroom alone is the size of the 3-room flat of my friend. But is this the kind of society that we want as Singaporeans, where we think that the poor is not good enough and so we neglect them? As a government, we have a responsibility to our citizens. As Singaporeans, we have a responsibility to our fellow Singaporeans. And this is why I want to go into Parliament. I have a vision for our country, for our Singapore, and for our future. Now I want a place where all Singaporeans can call our country home. Now I want a place where we know that we can feel safe, because the police is not going to arrest our children for making a video to criticize Lee Kuan Yew. Now, where we know that our children can grow to their fullest potential, and where our children do not have to go through stressful examinations and be segregated into different streams in their early years. Now, I want a future where our children will dare to question and dare to think, so that they will create and become the next CEO of Google or the next CEO of Microsoft. Now, I want this for our children. Smaller class sizes, lesser workload on our teachers, every Singaporean to have an equal chance in getting to university. Every school is truly a good school. And free education. We invest in our children, and they will invest in our country, and our society, and our economy will grow, and we will benefit all Singaporeans. Now, I know of many civil servants and Singaporeans working in government-linked companies. They tell me, Roy, thank you for your fight on the CPF. They say, we want change and we want to make better policies. They know for themselves that the PAP's policies cannot help the poor. The PAP's policies cannot help the sick. So they want change. Our civil servants want change. They want minimum wage, and they want to increase the government spending on healthcare so that Singaporeans can pay lesser. They want all these, but the PAP won't do it. Many civil servants are ready for change. They are just waiting for a new government which will have the political will to make these changes to protect Singaporeans. Now, the PAP says if the opposition becomes the government, things will break down. Now, on the contrary, it is when the opposition comes into power that things will finally start working. Our civil servants, our top civil servants are waiting. All of us Singaporeans are waiting to do the right thing. We just need the right government. Now, so it is time to be brave, my friends. It is time to be brave. Many of us want change. Many of us want to make things right. It is time to be brave, to be courageous, and to do what's right. And vote us in so that we can finally make policies together that will protect Singapore and Singaporeans. Now vote for us in Ang Mo Kio GRC so that we will be your voice. Now vote for the Reform Party in the Ang Mo Kio GRC so that we will fight for transparency and accountability on your CPF. Now vote for the Reform Party so that we will make sure that the jobs and wages of Singaporeans are protected. Now vote for me so that I will speak up for you in Parliament. I will research and debate on policies, and I will make better policies to protect you, your lives, and your children. Now remember, your vote is secret. Vote with your heart. Vote for our country's future. Now, Singapore today is one of the richest countries in the world, but there are still too many Singaporeans who are poor. You might not see them, but they are our elderly grandparents cleaning at the coffee shops or in the toilets. They are our elderly grandparents bending their backs in the hot suns and collecting cardboards. They are our own Singaporeans who try to find a bench under a void deck to sleep or to hide in a park. Because how do you hide your embarrassment of not having a roof over your head? But they have tried to find a place, but they cannot. Then why do we blame them when it is the PAP who has not been helping them? Now, this is why the Reform Party wants to have a minimum wage. If we want Singaporeans to live with dignity, pay us enough so that we can do so. Don't just say our healthcare system is good. Make sure our Singaporeans can pay for it. The Reform Party wants to create a national health insurance coverage so that all Singaporeans, rich or poor, can afford to go to a hospital and will not need to go through long procedures to apply for Medifund. Now, the PAP wants to use the records it has to fine or jail Singaporeans who do not pay for their MediShield Life premiums. If so, then we can also easily give Medifund for low-income Singaporeans because the records are there. We should not have to make them go through long procedures. The PAP wants elderly Singaporeans to pay for expensive MediShield Life premiums, but the Reform Party wants to abolish MediShield Life premiums for the young and old. We will pay for you. Now, as a government, we have to stop embarrassing our own citizens. We have to protect our citizens. And when our elderly Singaporeans grow old, we have to return their CPF. Now, some older Singaporeans tell me, I have enough inside my CPF, but my concern is that the PAP has not been transparent to Singaporeans on how they are using our CPF. One man told me, I can meet the CPF minimum sum, but my siblings cannot. And he has to pay for them when they need to go to the hospital. Now, where is the responsibility of the government? The PAP can no longer tell Singaporeans that they do not have to let us know how they are using our CPF because they don't have to. To find out how the PAP has been hiding the truth of how it has been using our CPF monies for the past 15 years, you can go to my blog, www.thehardtruths.com, and see the latest article. I show you with screenshots how the PAP has been eliminating the truth to prevent Singaporeans from knowing what the PAP has been taking our CPF to use. Now, if the PAP does not want to be honest to Singaporeans, then Singaporeans, Let's put ourselves, our Singaporeans, in government so that we will be transparent and accountable to Singaporeans. Now the CPF is our money. The CPF is our hard-earned money. The CPF belongs to Singaporeans. Singapore belongs to Singaporeans. Now it is not up to the PAP to tell Singaporeans that it does not want to let us know. It is up to Singaporeans to tell the government that we want our CPF to be managed in an open and transparent manner. Now the Reform Party wants all Singaporeans to be able to live in dignity. We want our elderly Singaporeans to be able to retire with dignity. Now we want to create policies that will protect Singaporeans and will make all our lives a better one. Minimum wage, job protection, more subsidies for healthcare, universal healthcare, free education, and an education system that will allow our children to grow and become the most wonderful people they can ever be. Now this is the Singapore that we all believe in, that I believe in. A Singapore that is united, a people that are happy, and citizens who know that we are taken care of, and who have a voice and are heard when we speak up. Singaporeans, it is time we let go of what inhibits us. It is time we believe in our future. It is time we believe in creating our own destiny. Now it is time we speak up. It is time we take a stand. And it is time we create our own future. For our future, for our children, let's vote to put things right. It is time we regain our pride. It is time we regain our dignity. Come 11 September, this Friday, put a cross next to the Reform Party. Vote for us. Vote for Reform Party.
Thank you, Mr. Roy. Thank you, Mr. Roy.